quickly, impeachment inquiry, okay? They didn't say they're about to impeach. They said they are launching an inquiry into impeachment. It was an announcement of an announcement, guys. Like, golly, we live in strange times where, just give them an inch, man. Just give them an inch and fly off the handles with it. Deal is that as long as the economy is doing well, people are all right with their money, the man, he gonna stay right where he at. The American, that's how the general public operates, all right? The independent, those who are not plugged in, that's how they think. So we shall see. Now let's get to today's, one of today's videos. This is Gulley Boy, a YouTuber whose content I really enjoy. I mean, he does some of the best breakdowns of bad movies. Like, he goes to the bin at Walmart, picks out flicks, and just disseminates them hilariously. I really got a lot of love for his content, man. And so today, not today, I think yesterday, he released a colorism video, and it holds no sway with the brother, and you know what, it holds none with me either. I believe he's from out in the Midwest, St. Louis, like Missouri, that area, and I'm not sure if he's fully American or first generation or whatever it is, but we're about to get into his colorism video because I didn't have an opportunity to talk about it when it was popping, and it had really, I think, reached its peak with the La Negra chick and her fro, and oh my goodness, these producers, they don't want to put the dark skin girl in them. Like, who cares? Go away. like the entire concept of colorism is so just gynocentric, and like, guys, just don't give a shit. But seeing how the opportunity has presented itself, and also may introduce you to a really funny and interesting channel, by all means, Gulley Boy, take her away.
Colorism is a term that affects the black community, as it's a form of discrimination blacks have towards each other. The history of this dates all the way.
Okay, so what he's about to do is take her back, as you can see, take her back to slavery and everything else like that. As far as colorism goes, there is underpinning and generational anger towards, like, not anger, but it's all at a subconscious and psychological level. And let's get into exactly, he does a pretty good job of breaking down how it is. How that's come to be.
Back to slavery, in which white slave masters would impregnate black women and treat their lighter-skinned children better than the darker-skinned slaves that worked in the fields. Many believe that this instance in history caused black people of today to have an immense hatred towards one another, and the main group that is affected by colorism is dark-skinned black women, as they feel that society as a whole is against them. But what I'm here to do,
and I'm going, he about to do it. But yeah, let me just hop on in here and say, it's, when it comes to media portrayals of darker skinned women, and I want to use two examples here. I want to use Coming to America, and I want to use the movie Class Act. Because in both of those movies, the good girl was, light skin, pretty hair, eyes and everything else like that, when the dark skinned chick was a hoe. And this is Eddie Murphy and Kid and Play. So let's be real. And even within Kid and Play, Kid was the nerdy one, whereas Play was always the criminal or the thug, or just the more reckless of the two. So there's arguments to be made. Like, there are things to be made. But when it comes to you as an individual, right? We all are responsible for our own shit.
Right now is to tell you everything that I've just said is complete BS, as this is my unpopular opinion, which is an opinion that's meant to offend you, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. So prepare yourselves to unsubscribe, hit the dislike button, send death threats, etc., etc. First,
we ain't going through all that, Gulley Boy, because deal is that, yeah, we agree with your unpopular opinion.
foremost, I have a serious issue with individuals that feel the need to blame the majority of black people's problems of today on slavery. Slavery seems to always be the determining factor in why blacks can't thrive in today's society. But with this particular issue, slavery is the...
Yeah, okay, so when it comes to slavery, here's the thing. And here's the thing. See, brace yourself for this, right? Yeah, that's not in everybody. What happened during slavery isn't in everybody. There are far more black people, quote unquote, around than, you know what I'm saying, that, like, that's not your history. That's a very, very small select few of people's history of what took place here in the United States. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if, like, just based on numbers. Just based on numbers. And with the Hard Sellers Act, which, you know, brought in a lot of people of darker pigments, you know, it's just been that struggle, that fight, in the consequent 400, 500 years since, like, that struggle and fight has really been exploited to no degree. You know, you toss out slavery, oh my goodness, white guilt, now please, I'll give you money. You ever see that movie, Vampire in Brooklyn? She was like, oh, I understand what you people have gone through, and Eddie Murphy turns into a vampire and says, oh, well, then you'll understand this. The deal is that, you know, it's like I said in the beginning of this video, a lot of it's psychological. I mean, and let's be real, it's cultural as well. Continue, Mr. Gulley.
Reason that most black men think that dark-skinned black women are unattractive, which is very asinine if you ask me. But to
right, because I mean, like I said, this is why it's gynocentric and based in like a female or feminine thought, because we don't care for the most part. Those slave masters, you saw those slave masters beating it in on their slaves. No offense, not to, you know what I'm saying, like, just be completely insensitive, but that's like the thing about biology, about us as men. Like, yo, wet and warm, for the most part, you got like a 75% shot, ladies. That's why the rules for us are different. You know, I got into an argument with somebody recently who were like, oh my god, like, everyone likes to continue to believe that men and women are equal. We're the same thing. We're not. We're complementary pieces that should be working together. And the deal is that when you really break it down, the female and the male have different rules or different, you know, blueprints. I think that's better. Blueprints in order to, you know, live what many would consider a fulfilling life. There's different blueprints, but what we've done is we've sat here and said, oh no, girl, you can live the man blueprint. It don't end up working out that great. And what's worse is that it's not the mothers or the females that choose it, it's the children that have to experience a life underneath this type of mental space that really has kicked it into high gear. So yeah, let's continue.
Back to how colorism was formed through white men treating their children better than darker toned slaves. I will have to admit that this was very true, but it wasn't because their children were light skinned, it was because they were their children. So of course they were going to treat their children better than the slaves. I also have to mention that this wasn't always the case, as in some instances, slave women would become concubines in hopes of getting picked by white men to birth their children in order for them and the child to have a better life. So in my opinion,
yeah, I mean, real talk. It's like I've spoken of before in this channel. Like, you know, females, their thing, their biological thing is power, and if they can obtain a better standard of life and a better quality of living, they'll make they'll instinctually make choices that, you know, oh yeah, my brothers, I'm so pro-black. Like, are you though? Like, yo, you be pro you, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that.
And slavery can't be the cause of colorism, because in some cases, black women benefited by having the slave master's child. And let's not forget that a lot of darker-skinned slaves were also classified as house Negroes, in which they were held as a higher regard to the rest of the slaves. As I said before, people that believe in colorism feel that dark-skinned black women are the main ones affected, as they are the only group I've seen examples of colorism coming into play. As you all may know, the powers that be have always tried to plant in our heads to what they feel the standard of beauty is. They tell us that European features such as lighter skin, blue or hazel eyes, and straight long hair are what makes a woman beautiful. This leads to a lot of black girls thinking that they aren't pretty enough as they don't look like the girls in the magazines or TV. Now, I'll have to agree that all this is very true, but we have to...
Like I did before, I'm going to bring up the Coming to America and Class Act examples because, look, media does what media does. Which is why when you sit there and talk about, we have all these other groups that sit there and cry about representation and stuff like that. It's like, bro, like, okay, you'll get it, but do you really want it? Like, do you really want that image portrayed and stuff like that? And without parents to guide the children as to what they're watching and what they're, interpreting, then there's no, there's no counterbalance. There's no, like, the kids just take it and they just run with it. That's why you got females running around now that can't live without their wigs. We need our weaves. I'm never gonna forget that. This was, I think it was Ferguson or Baltimore, but they going after the beauty supply store, and she was like, we need our weaves.
Remember that these are the doings of the people we refer to as our oppressors. Their forefathers are the ones that fought for this country, and they make up most of the population at a whopping 60%, while blacks were enslaved in this country, and we only make up 12% of the population. Therefore, it should be obvious that this would be the standard of beauty, and there isn't really much we can do to change it. And in my opinion, we shouldn't try to change it, because we can easily fix this problem by not worrying about what the elites of this country consider the standard of beauty.
Okay, so deal is that you got eyeballs, my dude. Like, I'm sorry, elite or not, you can't put, what's the name? Let me give me some. You're not talking to me. You can't put, some homely looking chick next to Megan Fox or Beyonce or America Ferrara when she's done up and be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like one's doesn't. Yo, we have eyeballs, my G. Okay, but the deal is that how you carry yourself, particularly when it comes to like us, just within your space, right? Like within your area, within your space. How you carry yourself and how you present yourself, that's what can and really should attract those to you, as opposed to any kind of, like standard that they set, because deal is you never know who find you attractive, right? Trust me, I'm surprised plenty of women with, yo, let's get down. We got down. It was great, but I'm saying, it's like, oh, where? I didn't think you was yeah, let's go. Like a lot of females do not have flirt receptors. But either ways, I'm digressing a little bit. What I mean to say is just that, look, we have eyeballs. It is what it is, and particularly when it comes to females, look, that's really on them, because it's not a God thing. It really isn't. To sit here and be like, oh my goodness, well, this light-skinned dude and light-skinned fella, like, trust me, the guys who sit there and cry about that type of stuff have a lot of estrogenics up in them.
So like to compare this to the idea of white supremacy, in which I believe is a mindset, because no one is holding black people back but ourselves. Because just as this idea of white supremacy, which manipulated black people into thinking they could never rise out of their conditions, even though we have all of the resources to do so, I feel like this idea of colorism manipulated black women into thinking that they're lesser than. But in reality...
Okay, yeah, so I believe that, and this is where we got it kind of diverge here, Gulley, because I believe that they just like the idea of being a victim and, oh, woe is me, and, oh, please, everybody do something for me, as opposed to, and that's a real female thing, but in particular, when it comes to our, to that psychological, that subconscious ting that I spoke of earlier, like there is a serious, like, urge to, hey, yeah, I'm a victim, oh my goodness, oh, woe is me, or ... like I put it before, because females are like it's been said before, not just by me, but it's been said before, like females are very light on details. So you ever ask her, oh, well, like what happened, she'd be like, well, we were sitting on the couch just talking ... I'm catching a cream pie. Like, whoa, you missed a lot of the in between, you know.
We see more love for black women, which comes from black men. Colorism has brainwashed black women into thinking that they're not beautiful, even when lots of black men think they are.
But see, that's the thing. It's a them problem. That's why I always come from an individualistic perspective. It's a them problem. Because, yeah, like, bruh, you can do however you want. Like, back in the day, back in the 70s, when, like, but when it comes to black women, they've accepted, you know, feminism as their god, and the leader of feminism is Caucasian women, and you know, emulate your leaders. So back when the black man was in charge of his family, back in the 60s, and like, you know, sisters was rocking fros proudly. I mean, they ain't looking good. But they, I mean, like, what is it, like every blaxploitation, there's a chick with a fro and then a long-haired white chick. Like, yes, we want both. Like, we'll take both. They, on the other hand, this is us placating into their neuroses for the most part. Like, oh my goodness, hey, so, like, if she can't see it, then guess what, you know, or if it ain't, or if she does see it and she take it overboard and she's just not a woman in her right mind, then what's to be done, right?
Myself. This is why we see a lot of black women get upset when someone doesn't find them attractive. I also believe that black women have been brainwashed so much that it affected them logically as well, which leads me to another aspect of colorism. One of the many examples of what people classify as colorism is when black men say that they prefer lighter-skinned black women and women of other races. Many blacks will look at these types of black men as being self-haters, which ultimately leads to them being colorist. The main problem.
Yeah, but here's the deal, guys. All pink on the inside, man. Like, ladies, you're all pink on the inside, and you know, it is what it is. Once again, you never know who find you attractive. So, what you trying to get down? All good, darling. Like, oh, you Indian? Oh, you're Chinese? Oh, you flirt back? Oh, beautiful, nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're feminine with it. You laughing at the jokes. You're enjoying yourself. You seem like you like my company. All right, cool. That's kind of like just what it is. And unfortunately, there are so many sisters that do not open themselves up to that type of, you know what I'm saying, that type of energy, that type of playful energy. You know, it is a thing that gets cut off hard. And so when we do seek other options, because the seed matters more than the soil now, don't it? Like, they feel some kind of way, and once again playing into their whims and their issues.
I have with this is that you're telling someone that they hate themselves for having a preference, which doesn't make an ounce of sense, because self-hatred is something that involves a person hating themselves. Someone's dating preference doesn't play a factor with someone hating themselves. That's like a short woman saying that she only dates tall men, and someone calling her a self-hater because she's short. Just because someone is black or short doesn't mean they have to date people that look like them. I also have to mention that white men seem to not play a factor in situations like this, because they're never called a colorist for only dating black women. They're usually accepted and put on a pedestal for seeing the beauty in dark-skinned women. But,
and I'm gonna be honest, the white guys that smash black chicks tend to be cool as shit and funny as hell, and have a ton of very racist jokes right up their sleeves. And hey, you know me, I like a good racist joke. I think it's pretty funny, because racism as a concept, as a whole, is funny. Like, oh man, my skin color makes me better than you. No, it doesn't. Jesus.
Not hating themselves for dating outside their race, which in my opinion isn't at all fair, because black men are the only ones criticized by this. These things should only be looked at as preferences, in which no one is in the wrong. Even if
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, bro, because there's plenty of our Caucasian brethren that get called out for, oh yeah, you only deal, like, there's been dudes that have really stepped out on the line for, like, the first interracial marriage was a black woman and a white man. So he was breaking all the taboos too. They was trying to shame him. Like, yeah, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? Becky right on over there. He's like, nah, man, I like that booty. So the deal is that, come on, man. Like, for real, like, everybody catches the shit. Like, be Asian. Go try and be Asian. Jesus.
Someone like a Chris Brown or a Kodak Black says they simply don't date dark-skinned women because their skin tone is not appealing to them. I mean, black women say these types of things all the time when it comes to their preference. I've heard black women say that they're not attracted to light-skinned men. I've heard black women say that they won't date short guys. I've heard black women say that they will only give a man the time of day if he's been to prison. I've heard black women say that they won't date a man unless he has a car, his own house, money, and etc. Also, in the process of black women saying these things, is usually followed up with ridicule. So I just think that it's very hypocritical that some of y'all put the label of colorist on men and other women that...
Oh, GB, my God, hypocritical. No, my friend, it's female nature. See, what's taking place, particularly within our communities, is that they are very matriarchal now. They got rid of all the guys, all the old heads, and the old heads that are left are completely brainwashed, and the ones that are gone, the ones that could stand strong, they're gone. So what happened, particularly in political spaces, is that they became very gynocentric, all focused on the women. Oh my goodness, black women are victims, black women this, the black women that. And what actually happened is that a welfare state was created specifically for them, where they got rid of men, made sure that the kids had no kind of genuine masculine influence outside of those of the underworld, and then let them rip. And so here we are all these years later. You got the females like, oh my goodness, I want this because of the way that, because of generations of families just completely dismantled and broken up, and mindsets and thought processes really cultivated through culture. We was all there for during the waiting to exhale phenomenon of the 90s. That's right, you are my sister, that type of stuff. Yeah.
They not like you, but you can go around and judge everyone else.
Sorry, that was from Set It Off soundtrack, not the Waiting to Exhale, but as you can see, the whole female empowerment thing within our culture, at least within the black American culture, terrible.
Without any consequence. I also want to say this. Why are we acting like black men don't find dark-skinned women attractive? Just because the media isn't showcasing this, doesn't mean it's not reality. Because there are a countless number of black men that are attracted to black women, with myself being one of them. There are also...
And that's the thing. I mean, when you say, that's the thing about this Crayola crew shit, the color blackness and all this other stuff. It is so vast and so varied. I just did a video. 85% of wealthy black men are married to black women. Now, how light-skinned the women are and stuff like, doesn't really matter. No, right? It shouldn't. But it does, because, oh my goodness, well, we can throw up another distractor, aka colorism.
Religious and pro-black factions that constantly uplift and empower black women on a daily basis. But you even have just normal everyday black men like myself that think that black women, specifically dark and brown skin, are the finest women on the planet. And I have always said,
yeah, I won't put a qualifier on that. Look, let me tell you something. They're all packing heat, bro. I'm sorry, you can't ask me to choose between a black Maserati and a white Maserati. Can you? It's a Maserati. Ride that shit, babe. Who cares? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is why I'm not racist, because there's no complexion that does not have just my God. You see what I'm saying? Brothers feel me, alright? Brothers definitely feel me on this.
Since I was a young man, that there are no other women that can compete with black women as far as how they look. With all that being...
Once again, bruh, we talking preferences here, right? I mean, and that's you. Do you? Me? I don't limit shit. Like I said, all pink on the inside.
Said, although you have a lot of black men with a preference of lighter skinned women, you also have a lot of black men that absolutely love dark skinned and brown skinned women. So my question for you people yelling out colorism, why is it that you only focus on black men that don't find you attractive, but not black men that do? Because let's not act like black men aren't like in every thirst trap photo.
He ain't lying. Oh, we're just gonna sit here for a moment because, the 35% is real. So, I'm just gonna sit here for a moment. My God. 3, 2, 1. Now, what were you saying, Gulley?
You post on social media, and let's not act like black men aren't hollering at you in real life every day that you step out the door. I also want to...
I sees it. Like, seriously, like, you go to any store in the hood for the most part, or walk past one of those one of the trap houses. By all means, they're young dark skin. Yo, 1,000,003. Hey ma, hey ma, excuse me, hey miss, excuse me miss, hey, can I walk with you? Can I talk with you? Come on, yo.
At this, here is a recent chart of who black men married the most in the United States. This chart,
and it's the shit that I just talked about.
Shows us that 85% of black men in this country have black wives. The other nationalities and races of women don't even come close to the percentage of black men marrying black women. And y'all want to sit up here and tell me that colorism is a problem in the black community? Man, kill that noise. Y'all gotta stop focusing on how the media views you and focus on what's happening in the real world. Because what I...
Which is why I use the examples of, Class Act and Coming to America. I mean, movies I find hilarious. But at the same time, like, you can see where, if a little dark-skinned chick saw this as a kid, she'd be like, whole life it is, you know? And I hope she wouldn't. I hope she would just get the laughs too and keep it pushing. But it is what it is. You can't determine things for other people. And with that being said, Gulley Boy, thank you so much for dropping this banger of a video. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna actually leave his channel in the description. Go check him out. Fantastic content. I mean, really top notch when it comes to the movie reviews, bruh. And with that being said, all the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute and the like. Right? And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Is colorism a thing? Does a woman's does it matter? Does complexion really matter that much? It should be more about the character, more about the chemistry, more about, how you guys connect, and, future life plans and goals and what you want to accomplish in life. And as the man, that is your space, like, hey, why are we here? What are we here to accomplish? What are we going to do? That's the direction. That's the guidance that nature granted us. That is and unfortunately, just so many guys aren't familiar with how to tap into that. So let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next one.